My name is Emma. I am a university student. I love reading books, so I often visit the town library after class. It is one of my favorite places. The library is quiet and peaceful. I usually sit by a window and read for an hour before going home. One rainy afternoon, I was looking for a novel on a high shelf. When I pulled out a thick, old book, something fell to the floor. I picked it up and saw a yellow envelope covered with dust. The envelope looked very old. On the front, I saw a name, Mrs. Sarah Wilson. There was also an address written in blue ink. The envelope was sealed, and it seemed that nobody had opened it. I wondered how it had ended up inside the book. I took the envelope to the librarian. He looked surprised when he saw it. "That is strange," he said. "This book has been in the library for many years." He carefully looked at the envelope. "The letter was probably hidden inside the book a long time ago," he said. "Nobody knows how it got there." I became curious. I could not stop thinking about the letter. "Can I try to find the owner?" I asked. The librarian smiled. "If you want to, you can try," he said. The next day, after my classes ended, I went to the address written on the envelope. The house was still there, but it looked different from the other houses on the street. The paint was new, and there were flowers in the front yard. I knocked on the door. An elderly man opened it. "Excuse me," I said. "Do you know Sarah Wilson?" The man thought for a moment. "Yes," he said. "She used to live here many years ago, but she moved away a long time ago." My heart sank. "Do you know where she lives now?" I asked. He shook his head. "I'm sorry," he said. I thanked him and walked away. For the next few days, I asked people in the neighborhood about Sarah Wilson. Most people did not know her. Some had never heard her name before. I was beginning to lose hope. Then, one afternoon, I met an old woman sitting outside a small grocery store. When I mentioned Sarah Wilson, her eyes became bright. "Oh, Sarah," she said. "I remember her. She moved to a small town about an hour from here." She gave me the name of the town. I felt excited again. The following Saturday, I took a bus to the town. The ride was longer than I expected. Rain tapped softly against the window while I looked outside. I wondered if I would really find Sarah. When I arrived, I spent nearly 2 hours asking people if they knew her. Finally, a shop owner pointed toward a quiet street. "She lives near the end of that road," he said. I thanked him and hurried there. Soon, I found a small house with a beautiful garden full of colorful flowers. I walked to the front door and knocked. A kind old woman opened it. "Hello," she said. "Are you Sarah Wilson?" I asked. She smiled gently. "Yes, I am." I carefully took the envelope from my bag and showed it to her. The moment she saw it, her smile disappeared. Her hands began to shake. "Where did you find this?" she asked quietly. "In an old library book," I replied. For a few seconds, she simply stared at the envelope. Then she invited me inside. We sat at a small table in her living room. Very slowly, she opened the envelope. She unfolded the letter and began to read. As she read, tears filled her eyes. I waited quietly. After several minutes, she looked up at me. "This letter is from Michael," she said. "Who is Michael?" I asked. "He was my best friend when we were young." She smiled sadly. "Many years ago, he moved to another city. We promised to stay in touch." She looked down at the letter again. "I waited for a letter from him, but it never came." She took a deep breath. "I thought he forgot me." Sarah handed me the letter. I read part of it. Michael thanked her for her friendship. He wrote about the happy days they spent together. He said she had always been kind and supportive. At the end of the letter, he wrote, "I hope we can meet again someday. No matter where life takes us, I will always remember our friendship." Sarah wiped away her tears. "I never knew he wrote this," she said. We spent the next hour talking. She told me stories about her childhood, her school days, and her friendship with Michael. Before I left, she thanked me many times. "You spent your time helping a stranger," she said. "I'm glad I could help." A week later, I received a small card in the mail. It was from Sarah. Inside, she wrote, "Thank you for bringing me a memory that I thought was lost forever." I smiled as I read her words. I had not found treasure or money. I had only delivered an old letter. But sometimes a small act of kindness can change someone's life, and that made me very happy.